Sweep the area for hunters, but be careful. Move out.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the first official episode of Minutes with Six, entitled Time. Is it really a conundrum? So, for today's first episode, I want to talk to you about the concept of time. I mentioned this briefly in my introductory video, but it is a subject matter that's incredibly dear to my heart because of how precious it is. Now, the way I want to structure this today is I don't want to just sit here and tell you things. I want to ask you questions. I want to prompt your thinking. So I hope you won't mind me asking for a little bit of your time today in order to do that. So, when you think of the word time, what comes to mind? Is it seconds? Minutes? Hours? Days? Weeks? Months? Even years? Or is it something else entirely? I mean, when we look at the clock, it tells us the time, assuming, of course, that is correct. Right now, as I record this video, the time is 10:34 AM. But what does that mean exactly? 10:34 is just an exact point in the existence of the universe on a particular day, in a particular week, in a particular month, in a particular year. When we consider even just a single minute in time with the existence of the entire universe, it is but a speck. This is why it matters so much. Your life is just a blink in the existence of the universe. Time is one of, if not the most valuable commodities on this planet right now. It is our greatest friend and enemy simultaneously. Time is our master. He giveth and he taketh away. Everyone is afforded time, though at differing rates. This is the harsh reality of time. It doesn't care who or what you are. When your time expires and the last embers of the fire of life is extinguished from you, the only discernible measure of your existence is the time you spent being alive. That is, unless, of course, you spend your time wisely. But what does that look like? The truth is, at least in my mind, that it looks different for everyone. In order to make this point clearer, I want to pose a question to you. When was the last time you spent your time well? Let me just repeat that. When was the last time you spent your time well? I'll give you a minute just to think about that. Okay, so that wasn't quite a minute, but you catch my drift. So, when I say well, in my opinion, that would be time spent doing something meaningful to me, such as reading, spending time with people, or visiting somewhere that I care a lot about. But what about you? If you are truly honest with yourself, though, how much of your time is actually spent doing meaningful things? Is it 10%? 1%? Even 1% of 1%? Let me again try and put this into a context for you. Let's take a standard factions multiplayer match. And for the sake of simplicity, let's say supply raid. We all know what the objective of the game is. It's about survival and eliminating the opposing team first. We also know that each match lasts a maximum of 15 minutes. Now, I would like you to consider that 15-minute chunk of time in context. Does each match last 15 minutes? I would say no. Every match differs in the same manner that every day differs. Assuming that the average match lasts 10 minutes, how much of that 10 minutes is actually spent doing something meaningful, such as executing enemies or reviving teammates? I've asked a lot of questions so far, but I don't expect an answer to even 10% of them, let alone all of them. So again, what percentage of a match is actually spent doing something useful? Then factor in all of the variables, and I'm not talking about the rapid-fire semi-automatic rifles, that can affect a match. Literally no two matches are ever going to be the same, and yet the game feels monotonous. So why might that be? Most of us are on autopilot, going about our day without ever really thinking deeply about it. And that's understandable, because many of us never step outside of our comfort zone day to day, me included. I go to work, I come home again. However, every so often, I might just step outside of what we are familiar with and take a holiday or play a match of interrogation. This is what makes our time valuable, the thought of being able to spend it wisely. At this point you might be thinking, who are you to tell me how I should spend my time? If this is your thought process at this time, then I'm afraid to say that you have got the wrong impression from this video. I am not telling you at all how to spend your time. I am simply here to pose questions to you, as I made quite clear at the beginning. This is a learning experience for me as well, which is all I ever want it to be. It's not about judgment or lamentation. We cannot turn the clock back. We can only keep moving forward. But in order to press on, we must regularly look back to see where we have come from. It is incredibly difficult to face our demons sometimes, and I too struggle with this. I am absolutely not sitting here thinking that I've got everything figured out, because nobody truly does. That is why I seek to unite us together in a quest for greater understanding about our own lives. I'm not going to tell you to eat fruit, get up at 4 AM and go and buy a gym membership. I don't do any of those things. Well, maybe except the fruit part. How you spend your time is completely your prerogative. I'm simply giving you my view on a matter that is profoundly important to me, and that is my prerogative. So, to summarise then, time, despite being a man-made measurement, is a highly necessary one. It allows us to ascertain the duration of our own existence and the existence of others, and consider how we organise our lives. But time is never an ally. Even as I speak to you now, the seconds tick away. Thank you for your time today. And as always, keep your hands off me.